And we're back, and Jody, the hat is a lot tamer than I thought. It's an LLD hat, but I think that's probably my favorite LLD hat that we've done.
Yeah.
The arm wrestling on the blue is pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, I wore the orange one in Canada. I had the orange LLD shirt with the arms and the hat, and I wore that to Canada. So, and then I'll do the blue one up at Washington State December 6th up in right outside Vancouver.
You're all over the place. So real quick before we start, because we're all about shameless plugs here, tell us again what shows that you're on currently, what web shows you're doing.
So I got 2 shows. I got obviously, I don't know if y'all can see the sign back there, but it's Arm Talk. There's no specific day. It all depends on my guests, their time, because I work graveyard, so my schedule's a little bit funky anyway. So I got to kind of like, correlate with them, when's the best time, that kind of stuff. And then the other show I'm a part of, I'm a co-host of the Can-Am Connection. So it's some USA guys, some Canadian guys, and we just talk the ins and outs of arm wrestling and all that kind of good stuff. And we just had a pay-per-view this past weekend, so we kind of touched based on the results on that. So, and that was the other day. So it's been fun.
That's very cool. That's awesome. And BJ, of course, is the disciple. And give your shameless plug for your website or your YouTube page.
Yeah, you can check me out at Disciple Games on YouTube. It hasn't been posting much lately, but we've been doing some experimenting and working on some show formats. So look for stuff in the future.
Yeah, Disciple Games, get on there, and we've put some Rocket League stuff up on there, which is way more fun than I thought it would be. People are like, "Ooh, you play Rocket League?" There's not many games that I've looked at out there that you could just hop on with a buddy and go play 2 random people and be done in 10 minutes and play little games. It's pretty fun. So
it's a challenging game too. It's like golf. It's more about challenging yourself than beating other people. There's a lot of stuff to learn.
Yeah. It's good. And we'll start posting more stuff here. Now that I've kind of figured out some technical things and I've got the setup going and I know what I want to do, people are going to just be sick of all the aggregate stuff coming at you. So folks, buckle up, because here comes the aggregate, Disciple, Chocolate Thunder. We're the force of 50-year-olds on the internet now.
Yes.
But 50 is the new 20, right?
Yes.
So today we're back after a few months hiatus here, and we're talking something that's really, really near and dear to all our hearts, because we love football. We're all big football fans. And again, having been born in the mid-'70s, all of us, we've seen the last 50 years of football. So today, we're taking an old adage of the Mount Rushmore, the top 4. Like, who would you put as the big boys of NFL defenses? So we're going to do single season, so not dynasties. We're not going to say, oh, the 70s Steelers or, oh, the X amount of Ravens or whatever. One season, you got your top 4. Who is going to be on your Mount Rushmore, and we'll list them here. And folks at home, you can kind of chime in if you want, because there's no wrong answers here. I mean, unless you say like the 2025 New Orleans Saints or something, like, or the Cowboys this year. There are some wrong answers, I suppose, but there's really no wrong answers, and we'll kind of talk about that. So, Jody, let's kick it off with you. Who's number 1 on your list?
Are we going in order?
We don't need to go in order. You can list them however you want to, just because, again, Mount Rushmore is the top 4. We're not saying who's Washington and who's Lincoln, and we're not filling in names, but who's number 1 that you'd like to talk about tonight?
I like to talk about the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, and what's up with the Bucs? Why do you put them up there?
Well, I mean, for that one, they were knocking on the door for so many years with Dungy, and then Gruden came in from an offensive standpoint, but their defense carried that team. I mean, you think about it. They had a Hall of Famer at each area. D-line, Warren Sapp was a Hall of Famer. Linebacking core, Derrick Brooks, Hall of Famer. Secondary, John Lynch. So when you got those core guys, right in the middle of the fucking field, I mean, secondary, linebacker, D-line, then you could add pieces like a Rondé Barber. You could add Simeon Rice, guys like that. Chuck Darby, so you can also Shelton Quarles. I mean, you can just add people there and kind of go, okay. I mean, Dwight Smith. I think Dwight Smith had what? Wasn't he the Super Bowl MVP that year? They won?
I believe so.
Yeah. I mean, put him in there. So that defense was just so awesome. It's like, man, it was almost like, hey, all you got to do is score a touchdown, give us 10 points. We'll take care of the rest. That was their motto. So,
yeah, they were definitely very studly. And so got some YouTube clips there. You did not want to mess with those guys. And look, that's back when you can actually hit people in football.
Oh, I know. And that's just flag football stuff.
Weird. Yeah. Okay. $2,002. That is a good choice. So I've got you down there. BJ, what is your first one?
My first one, I'm going with the easy one. 1985 Chicago Bears.
Yeah. And so what do you think of when you think of the Chicago Bears right offhand?
Well, the 4-6 defense. You got Ditka and Buddy Ryan. You also have like multiple they led the league in multiple defensive categories. And they were pretty dominant. Basically the 46 defense. You got Dent, Singletary, Otis Wilson, Wilbur Marshall. Pretty crushing defense.
Can you name that whole starting lineup?
Gary Fennick. No, I can't name the whole starting lineup.
I'll give it a stab. So the front four was Mongo McMichael, Hampton, Fridge, Dent. Linebackers were Singletary, Wilbur Marshall, Otis Wilson. Secondary was Dave Durison, Gary Fensick, Sean Gale. Ooh. Yeah, I got stuck.
Yeah, that's well, and they and I think they played a couple different. I think they rotated through some of their secondary, but yeah, that's pretty good. And all those guys, people forget sometimes that Wilbur Marshall was on that defense because he went to Washington and really was an outstanding player on the Redskins. And went over to Washington and won with them in '87. I think it was '87 they won, and he really shined there. But God, they were stacked, right? And who remembers who MVP of the Super Bowl was?
It was Dent.
It was Dent. I mean, when a defensive end is MVP of the Super Bowl, that you blow somebody out and you have a lot of points, that kind of tells you, just like you said, Dwight Smith from the Bucks, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's a pretty stacked there. So, as filling kind of in here, because I have one of these, I'm just going to pile on here with the Bears since it's already been said. It kind of starts and ends with the Bears. If you ask anybody who knows what's going on, they'll tell you that the 85 Bears were, they are the team, right? They're the team that if you said I have one defense to win the game, I want to win with them. And I won't go too much further on with them, but they only lost one game the whole season, and that's to a prime Dan Marino. And that was the only way you could beat that defense, was if you had probably the most skilled quarterback who's ever played the game. He had a couple really good receivers, and they threw on them because they manned up everywhere, right? They brought the house and they played man everywhere, but you had to have Dan Marino and Duper and Clayton. You had to have that kind of offense to beat them. So just really, really outstanding. So back around the horn to you, Jody. Who you got? Who you putting in at number 2?
1995 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, we knew this was coming, right? We knew the Steelers were going to be on here in some way, shape, or form. So, all right, tell us about the 1995 Steelers defense.
And I could have picked the 2008 one because, that anytime you got two guys in the same defensive unit, Polamalu and Harrison, that won Defensive Player of the Year, that says a lot. But I'm going to go with this one because that's what opened my eyes in high school. And that linebacking core of Kevin Green, which I have his jersey up there, by the way. Kevin Green, Greg Lloyd, Chad Brown, Levon Kirkland. There's you got big freaking Joel Steed at D-line, The secondary, you had Carnell Lake and Rod Woodson. I'm like, and like I said, when you have studs like that, and then you can plug anybody else in, and they came with the nickname Blitzburg. And they should have won the Super Bowl 30, but Neil O'Donnell got paid off. I'm still calling it. We would have had 7 right now. I'm still sour about that.
Yeah. That's who did he throw the ball right to? Was it Larry Brown?
Yeah, so I go back and watch that, and that hurts because it's like going, dude, who are you throwing the ball to? And Larry Brown just happened to be standing there. I'm thinking, okay, there's no way Larry Brown missed that coverage. I mean, unless he's playing the cover 2, and he threw it right to him, and that made Larry Brown a Super Bowl MVP, by the way. It made him a hero, and then he went to the Raiders because Al Davis was like, oh, we need that guy. He signed with the Raiders, and then he was never heard from again.
Yeah. He never really had anything. There was definitely some fishy shit going on here with that old Larry Brown Super Bowl. But I won't pile on too bad for you. Okay, so 95 Steelers, probably more of the choice of a Steelers fan, I would say, than your common everyday man.
Yeah.
But you know what? You don't have to win the Super Bowl. I'm gonna throw one out here. Just I hope I'm not taking anybody's, but I think of great defenses that didn't win the Super Bowl, and the 95 Steelers are up there. And I also think of the 91 Eagles the same way. Like, boy, you had a squad, but you really didn't win the Super Bowl. So for me, I couldn't put them up there because, God, you didn't finish. But the 95 Steelers, definitely a good pick. We wouldn't want to face them. Okay, Mr. Disciple, who you got next up?
Well, I'm going to do Jody Proud.
Oh no, he's going Steelers, I think.
I am going Steelers, and I think this team was probably, they didn't win a Super Bowl either, but probably the definition and blueprint for defensive excellence. The 1976 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
There was a short season. They only had 14 games, but they only allowed 10 points a game. They had 22 consecutive quarters without a touchdown. They had the steel curtain. Joe Green, Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, Mel Blount, L.C. Greenwood.
Ernie Holmes, Dwight Wright. Yeah.
Yeah, they were balling. No Super Bowl, but they had 9 turnovers in 2 games in the playoffs. So,
well, look at this clip. It goes to show you that football was just better then because it was all about hey, our goal is to win this game. It wasn't about the contract. It wasn't about I'm playing out my contract here so I can be a free agent. It wasn't none of that kind of stuff. I think a lot of us, not us here, but I think a lot of the players nowadays kind of lost faith because, when you're in middle school and high school and your dream is to get to the pros, and this is going to go with football too and basketball. But once you get to the league, it's like going, okay, and it's just like going, what happened to the winning? What happened to all that? It meant something then. Now it's just like you're playing for a paycheck and you got to hang now. I got to sit out a couple games, and it's like, all right, man.
Yeah, that's why these guys deserve to be up there too, is because they're set the tone for that sort of defensive work ethic and what you could be. And a lot of people aspired to play on a defensive team that was that good.
Who doesn't want to play with a middle linebacker who's got no front teeth?
Jesus.
There you go.
Like he's just like a hockey player playing football.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. No, they were tough sons of bitches back then, and that generation definitely a lot tougher than this one now. Because nowadays you'd hurt somebody's feelings playing football. All right, so good pick there. My second one, and I bet this is going to roll over to some of you guys, but we're going to go with the 2000 Ravens. When I thought of this, I kind of thought, what are teams that won despite their quarterback? So I start thinking back to teams that, okay, didn't have the great offense, didn't have the great quarterback, but the Ravens did it with defense. And I believe to this day, they're still the all-time points per game, the lowest all time. And they were around like 10 points per game, which is stupid.
Well, 76 Steelers were beaten by a little bit, but the points allowed, it was only a 14-game season, though. But 2000 Ravens hold the record for points allowed during a season of 165.
Yeah, that's these guys, and let's see if I can bring up their defense here. So you talk about pursuit. I mean, you've got a middle linebacker who's 260 pounds who can go sideline to sideline with the best of them. You've got a safety that plays 35 yards deep in Ed Reed, but can go get the ball. Oh, there's a 76 Steelers. Oh, they're talking about all sorts of defense on this YouTube.
Ray Lewis was killing people out there.
Oh, hey. Too soon. No, I'm not getting the highlights I want, so I'm going to stop that.
Oh, yeah, they also hold the record for fewest rushing yards in a season allowed.
See, this is why I have you here.
When you have two monstrous D tackles clogging up basically the whole offensive line, where your linebacker can just roam, that says a lot. When you got the Goose, Tony Saragusa, and Sam Adams just plugging the hole, and then you got Michael McQuarrie and Rob Burnett teeing up on the ends, that freed up guys like Jamie Sharper, Ray Lewis, and Peter Boulware. The secondary, Ed Reed, Kim Herring, Chris McAllister. I think Rod Woodson was on that squad too that won. So, and at that point he was playing safety, but still, I think I just named their whole entire defense. Damn, I just realized that. But it just goes.
This clip is from NFL Primetime, by the way. Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Can't go wrong with them. But I know those guys firsthand because, of course, they're in the same division as Pittsburgh. So those were guys. There's a reason why that was a sick, rivalry. Think about that. And this is beyond. This is the 2.0 Ravens with the Ed Reed version. So Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, Ravens defense, both defensive player of the year. Troy Polamalu, James Harrison for the Steelers, both defensive player of the year. Think about that for a second. Think about that. And they're all four of those guys in the same division. That just tells you how badass those games were.
Yeah, when you take Rod Woodson, who's maybe, one of the top 2 or 3 corners ever, move him to safety, and you bring in young guy like Chris McAllister, who was a stud, and by the way, was a Madden legend, was always rated like 95. They were just, you just couldn't run, you couldn't pass. It was overwhelming. Again, Ray Lewis wins MVP of the Super Bowl. That's a good defense. So we'll move on from there. So I got the Ravens in there. Jody, you are next up here with number 3 on your list.
Get ready for this. You ready?
And what is it, the 96 Steelers?
The 96 2002 Steelers.
It's the 1986 New York Giants.
Great pick.
We're talking, we can just start with LT. Everybody can fill in the rest. But that squad, think about that. For one game, in that Super Bowl game against Denver, and you got Phil Simms, who was 22 of 25 in that game, by the way. So think of that performance. And then the defense just doing what they do best. Where are you going? You got Carl Banks, Harry Carson, LT. You got, Gary Reasons. Those guys going sideline to sideline, You got Leonard Marshall and Jim Burt plugging up the front line. So those guys were just teeing off. And that defense was perfect, I thought, in my opinion. That 3-4.
Yeah, but how much cocaine did that locker room have?
He was probably sharing cocaine with Darryl Strawberry at Studio 54.
Yeah, they were very New York, weren't they? They're forget about it. I'm gonna come kick your ass. Great defense. Sorry, go ahead, Mr. Disciple.
Oh no, I had nothing to add there. I just was like, there he is. There's the man.
Yeah, and when people talk greatest defensive player of all time, he's in the discussion, right?
Oh,
Like it kind of starts with Lawrence Taylor and might leak into Deion Sanders or Ray Lewis. And it's funny that we're talking about these teams, although Herschel Walker just walked in on that one. But yeah, when you have a great linebacking core and you've got Hall of Famers left and right, that kind of makes it tough right there. I mean, you could have a subpar line, which they didn't, but I'm saying it makes up for everything else. So those guys, what are you going to do?
No, turn your head.
No, yeah, that wasn't the one.
No, that was the Monday Night Football one.
yeah, that's good. I'm removing that before we see something ugly. But yeah, 86 Giants. That's another great pick, and I don't think anybody's going to swing a stick at you for that one. So good pick. All right, BJ, Mr. Disciple, you're up next. Who you got?
Well, you stole my 2000 Ravens, so I'm going to go with my next pick. The 69 Vikings.
Jesus Christ, man. You've been watching black and white TV.
The purple people leaders. Let's go.
That's right. Statistically dominant. They led the league in fewest points allowed. They're all four of the defensive line made the Pro Bowl that year.
Can you name them?
There you go.
Can I name them? Gary Larson, Carl Eller, Alan Page, Jim Marshall.
Boom. Good job.
Jim Marshall didn't even know which way to run half the time.
He just passed away, didn't he?
Oh, did he? That's really disrespectful of me then.
I think he just passed away earlier this year or something like that. I remember last year.
Yeah. No, I mean, they were, again, and good for you for doing research on this because this isn't something that we would have watched, right? I mean, this is before our time, before we were born. And this is the power of film and doing research. And
well, in Madden too, John Madden talked about these guys all the time. Like they were never got to see them play, but we heard about the Purple People Eaters. We knew who they were and how dominant they were. The only reason we would have heard of this team from years before we were born is if they were that great.
So then again, I'm always liking to play devil's advocate here. I guess my only thing to put against them was who were they playing against? I mean, Jesus Christ, the goalpost is in the front of the end zone.
Well,
like that's an extra defender.
So they're playing against the people of their, it wasn't like they stacked that team. It was they're playing against a bunch of old slow guys too.
Yeah. Did they win the Super Bowl?
0 for 4.
I don't know if they did.
It was a rhetorical question. They did not win the Super Bowl. That's why Jody's saying 0 for 4.
0 for 4.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did win 12 games in a row though.
Yeah, good. And again, just being devil's advocate here, as to why anybody would be like, oh, of course they were good. I mean, they were. If you're statistically dominant in any era, I threw out the who are they playing is because people say that all the time. Michael Jordan played against plumbers and blah, blah, blah. Now, fuck you. Craig Elo was a good defender. I don't care what you say. He played like Jordan played against good people. You tell me you can take it in on Patrick Ewing? Byron Russell might have been a little bit out of his league there. I think that was they put old Byron Russell out on an island against Michael Jordan. That's against his pay grade.
Love tap.
He didn't push Jordan. Off. That's another aggregate for another time. I think I just found one though. Maybe the most overrated shots. Jody can go with the push off. But yeah, okay. So Vikings, well done. Papa Ron will be proud of you. So all of my 4 have already been said. So I'm just going to throw my third one out there. I had the 2002 Bucks on my radar as well. And we've already went ad nauseum about the Bucks. But again, I want to bring up the fact because I am an offensive guy but I tolerate defense and I understand it. And this is why Jody and I think we're born and we each have like two different halves of an amulet together because we're so opposite in so many ways. But we've always just been two peas in a pod. He is so defensive oriented. I'm so offensive oriented, but we each like the other side of the ball. So when I look at the Bucks and I go, Brad Johnson, like, okay,
hey, you had Michael Pittman and Keaton McCardell. I don't want to hear it, man.
Right, and it's just like, okay, I mean, they're all right, but there's no Hall of Famers on the offensive side there, you know.
It should be.
So when you win, not despite of your quarterback, but when you win with Brad Johnson as your quarterback, and I said the same thing last year, when you win, when you dominate a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback, you know your defense is badass. And when they won with Brad Johnson as their quarterback, it was like, oh, okay, that's even more so that they're up on my list. So,
is that
like Forrest Gump,
when the Ravens won with Trent Dilfer, is that the same thing?
Exactly. So you see where I'm going with my list, right? Because Jim McMahon wasn't a great quarterback; he was the punky QB. I mean,
he fit that team.
He did fit that team, but you know who could defeat Jim McMahon? Natural light. Like he had to wear sunglasses all the time. So
yeah, that's true.
Like he was good at BYU, and he came out and he could make a throw every now and then, but the heart and soul of that offense was Walter Payton. And so you see the list of my teams, they all have just kind of good but not great quarterbacks. So that's kind of how, when I think of a defense, and they're all Super Bowl winners, I kind of had to put some shackles on myself for that one. So like I said, like Forrest Gump said, that's all I got to say about that. So let's wrap around. Jody, who you got number 4 on your list?
Well, there's a theme going on here, except for my first pick, because the theme is that they play a 3-4, and it's a team you probably be like, what? I forgot about them. It's the late 80s New Orleans Saints. I'm an outside linebacker, so when you have guys like, I mean, that whole linebacking core, I think one year, was it 88 or 89, all 4 linebackers made the Pro Bowl. Think about it. Von Johnson, Pat Swilling, Ricky Jackson, Sam Mills. I mean, in the backfield, you had what? In the secondary, you had Torrey Cook, Brett Maxey. I mean, dude. The Dome Patrol, that's what they were called. Like, they were the one team in the NFC West that would give the Niners in their heyday fits because of their defense. I mean, there were years where the Niners were 10-6.
Wasn't that our nickname at the club?
The Dome Patrol? Hey, man, I'm trying to keep this like where, a family type show, but if you're on Dome Patrol, you're at a gay club, bro.
It depends on which way you're looking at it.
Okay, giving or receiving. I got you. So, yeah. But again, this highlights what I said earlier. Great linebacking core could make up for a defense in a line that's not great. You know what I'm saying? So those 4 linebackers were all fantastic linebackers, and you're right. They gave a lot of people fits. They just Bobby Hebert. There you go. See if they could have won the Super Bowl with Bobby Hebert or what's his name, Jim Everett,
or whatever.
Yeah, like whoever was in during that time, then they would be up there. But that's good that you're bringing that up. I like how you're thinking outside the box here, because a lot of folks don't remember that. That was a good crew. I looked on YouTube, not a lot of highlights for the New Orleans Saints, so we're just going to move on from them.
Oh, that's a travesty.
It is a travesty. Okay, Disciple, who you got number 4?
Good thing I had one in my back pocket. I'm going with the 91 Eagles.
Mentioned earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With Reggie White, Clyde Simmons.
Yeah. Jerome Brown. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rest in peace, right? Well, I guess Reggie White too, but Jerome Brown.
Andre Waters, rest in peace.
Eric Allen.
Yeah, who remembers their nickname?
Did Buddy Ryan give him one?
It was Bud Carson.
Green, weren't they?
The only gangrene I know was the Oregon Ducks 95 Rose Bowl team.
Yeah, I think these guys were gangrene. Oh, actually, it says that. Look at the YouTube right below
Oh, there you
to the
go.
left there. Gangrene, 91 Eagles defense.
Oh, really?
So
I don't think about them. I think about the Eagles defense. I think Bounty Bowl.
and that was, you had a very dynamic quarterback. You didn't have a great run game. You had a great tight end. So I'm surprised that they never won one.
Well, he got hurt in the first game of the season. Cunningham did.
Yeah, I'm just saying in the Randall Cunningham era. So you're talking that late 80s, early 90s defense with Jerome Brown, Clyde Simmons, Reggie White, like he talked about, these great linebacking core.
Seth Joyner,
Seth Joyner. Yeah, I mean, it goes on. And they had a pretty good offense, but they never got over the hump. But that kind of also tells you, I mean, that late 80s, early 90s, when you had the Niners and you had the Giants and you did have the Saints and you had all these great NFC teams, the Rams. You can talk about the Rams in the late 80s and early 90s. I mean, there were so many good teams in the NFC, which also tells you why the NFC dominated for a good stretch, right? Like,
you could talk about the Washington Redskins. You could throw them in there too.
Shit, 91. That's the Redskins won in 91, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And so there were so many, and you look between the early 80s to the mid 90s, it was NFC dominated. You had Cowboys, Niners, Redskins, Giants were winning everything, right?
I think it was was it 13 years straight they won until the Broncos broke the streak?
Yes, yeah, with the Elway Broncos. And so poor John Elway would come out of the AFC and just get lambasted in the Super Bowl. Like when somebody would see Elway out, they'd be like, "Oh man, you fucked up now. You sent Elway in. Here comes Doug Williams to throw 4 touchdowns in a quarter, or here come the Niners to set records." I mean, yeah, poor Elway had to deal with that stuff. So, no, that's a good pick. The Eagles, and they were fun, right? And they were kind of like, if you were a teenager, you really liked the Eagles. They were cool.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Like, culturally, the Eagles were a team that everybody liked, and you had an Eagles starters jacket, you were cool, or something like that.
So, I had a Randall Cunningham number 12 jersey. I wore it.
Of course, I think at Grant they gave that to you at freshman orientation. Like, they're like, "Here's an Eagles jersey." Like, it was just, they were so fun. And who didn't want to play with the Eagles on Super Tecmo Bowl? Like Randall Cunningham run everywhere, or Madden, because they were awesome on Madden with their defense. So, I mean, that culturally really goes a long way. And that's what people don't talk about, is favorite teams aren't always the best ones. They're the coolest ones. So my last one, I'm going to say 86 Giants, because that's who I had. And we've talked about the Giants. I'd like to put in one more as an honorable mention, because I don't think they get enough credit. And that's the 2013 Seattle Seahawks.
Are we doing an honorable mention?
Well, we can do an honorable mention here real quick. And I wanted to throw that out here just because mine were all very simple, basic. I'm a basic bitch. Like, I just went with the ones that I think are obvious, but I can't not answer the obvious ones. I have to put them out there because those are the best four, in my opinion. But those 2013 Seahawks, Legion of Boom, they were scary. And again, Russell Wilson, okay, he's a pretty good quarterback, and they have Marshawn Lynch, okay, and they got some pieces. But when you take that Peyton Manning offense, who was a record-setting offense, right, and just smacked them right in the face in the Super Bowl, like, that was a big-time wake-up call that this is one of the greatest defenses, and Pete Carroll's one of the best defensive coaches that has been around in a long time. And he did a great job with them. And this one was also, I believe, Cam Summer threw this one at me, and it got me thinking. So shout out to Cam Summer for giving me the Seahawks Legion of Boom. So, yeah, real quick, if Jody, give me one like honorable mention.
I would say the 04 New England Patriots. And I say that because they were so disciplined and smart, and their defensive coordinator was Romeo Cornell. So when you got, we're talking about guys like Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi, Mike Vrabel, In the back, you had freaking Rodney Harrison. I mean, even Sale came in, but they lost. But he came in. I mean, there's that. The D line had Vince Wilfork. Big Ted Washington. I mean, when you got guys like that, and they were so disciplined, and very rarely do you see them out of position. So I have to go. Honorable mention was that Patriot team.
That's not a bad one at all. They won a lot of games because of that defense, and Terry Mitchell will be upset about this, but Patriots didn't win no fucking Super Bowls because of Tom Brady. It was all the defense, except maybe the Atlanta one where Atlanta gave it to him. So,
first of all, the first three that New England won were all Adam Vinatieri. If he's not there, they ain't winning them. Let's be real.
Well, they were
drunk
low
ass kicker.
Too.
They're all 3-point wins, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, and again, their defense was really, really freaking good. And for those that don't know, Bill Belichick, the head coach, was the defensive coordinator for the 86 Giants that we're talking about, and is undoubtedly the greatest defensive coach in the NFL history. Like there's no question. There's no question about who's number one. It's all about who's number two.
And Buddy Ryan was the defensive coordinator for the 85 Bears and the head coach for the 91 Eagles, who also ran the defense also. So,
yep, defense travels. It really can go place to place. Disciple, what do you got? Any honorable mentions for us?
Yeah, I've got the no-name defense, the 72 Dolphins.
You old motherfucker. What these Dolphins? Did Mercury Morris get to you?
Yeah, they got that champagne ready to pop.
On Werner Herder's name.
Yeah, and again, that is really well known as a great team that didn't have superstars, right? They didn't have the 91 Eagles or the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears. How many players can you name from the Dolphins 72 defense? I'm curious.
Just Nick Buonaconti.
Nick Buonaconti.
That's the only one.
I can name Jake Scott was safety. Dick Anderson was in the secondary. Manny Fernandez was D-line. That's all I can remember.
I mean, that's pretty good. I couldn't name one person. I didn't even remember Buonaconti until you said Buonaconti, and that's only because I'm sick of that motherfucker being on ESPN trying to talk about we were better than everyone. Shut up! Like y'all were lucky, and they had a good offense. They had a couple Hall of Fame running backs. The quarterback. They had a good offense to complement them. So, but you gotta give props, I suppose, to.
Well, it's one of those teams that didn't have any individual star power, but they all played their role very well, and as a unit, they did really well.
I don't think they would receive as much hatred as they did, except for popping champagne on ESPN and acting like a bunch of jackasses. And so that's what Jody and I always laugh about. We're like, where's Mercury Morris ready to pop the champagne after somebody goes 12-1? But yeah, no, there's definitely they're legit. They're legit.
Well, it's because it's the effect because New England actually beat their record undefeated, but they just didn't finish it, right? It's the same thing for the Bulls, the 72 Bulls and the 73 Warriors. Warriors broke the Bulls record, but they got beat by the Raptors. So it's kind of like, okay, Bulls are like going, hey, y'all man, I got a better record, but we finished and y'all didn't. Same thing.
Yeah. Got it. You got to finish. Championships count. It's not championships aren't the it all be all, but they're a piece of the pie when you're talking about greatest. So, all right. Well, good stuff. We've got our Mount Rushmores up. Now it's fun time. Now it's time when folks at home really get to know the you of it all. And we get to know our guests a little bit and our guest hosts. So we're going to start with our Fab Five, and we'll kind of make this fast and furious holiday edition. So the holidays are coming up, and again, it's November 5th, and you got to start thinking about the holidays a little bit. So we'll swing it back here to Jody. Jody, question one, give me your top three, because I won't limit you to one, because that's just not fair. Top 3 foods that you like on Thanksgiving.
Candied yams.
Sweet tooth, all right.
Stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
And nice dinner rolls.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So you're just carbolicious. You're getting after it. It's all those like lifting weird metal objects and doing hand crunches and shit. If you guys haven't watched Jody's video, he does some stuff that looks like, okay, I get that. And then he does some stuff and some lifting and some hand work that is like, what is that like draconian torture that's going on in his garage? But yeah, Jody's a big, strong guy. He needs to have all those carbs. So I can't be mad at you. Those are all good choices. Disciple, what do you got for your top 3?
I'm going with ham,
mashed
potatoes and gravy, and sweet potato pie.
Nice.
I see the theme with the sweet potatoes, except you're going with the pie, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I gotcha. Yeah, again.
First of all, sweet potatoes and yams are 2 different things, by the way.
Yes, they are. Thank you, Jody.
Okay.
The connoisseur knows.
Yeah. So who wants to explain the difference between sweet potatoes and yams?
Yams are for Africans.
Yams are sweeter.
Okay. All right. So yams are the ones that come in like the little chunks, right? Like people cut them up in little chunks.
But it's a long root. It's like a long potato.
Yeah.
Light skinned.
It's a light skinned potato? Like Kid and Play?
Pretty much.
Hey, there you go.
It's a tuber.
Okay, well, shit, we're learning something. I didn't know this stuff because I really don't. I mean, if they're there, I might have one, but I'm not super into it. So, yeah, we're educating the masses. I'm always I love mac and cheese on Thanksgiving. Dinner rolls are always the best, and I'd have to edge out mashed potatoes and gravy. Probably edges out stuffing by like that much, because I think if you add stuffing, that's like the 4 things that comprise my plate on Thanksgiving, with a little bit of turkey. So I think we're all kind of on the same page with most of those, but a little education here in the aggregate. See, this is why we're the aggregate. It's a little bit of everything equals the sum. Yes. All right, Jody, what is the appropriate date to start playing Christmas music? And I'll forward this with radio stations will start playing Christmas music the day after Halloween. And they're playing it right now. What do you think is the appropriate day that they should start playing the Christmas music?
Well, if I had it my way, I'd say after Thanksgiving, because in my household, unfortunately, they phased that fucking holiday out, and it pisses me off because Thanksgiving is my favorite. See, I'm on soapbox edition. So Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. And when you got certain people in the household who like to play Christmas year round, they want to go from summer to Christmas. That's not how it works, people. Come on. But now it just seems like Black Friday is also a holiday now. And year by year, it seems like Thanksgiving is phasing out. But nah, I'd say after Thanksgiving, you're more than welcome to do that. So
let's do a toughness test on Jody. Don't say people in my house. I want you to name names, sir. Who's the number 1 person in your house that passes up Thanksgiving?
Oh, that'd be Mrs. Becky Williams. Yeah.
Oh, no, Rebecca.
Is she downstairs? I hope she hears me too.
She's not even home right now.
No, she's home.
I want her to come in and smack you on the head so we have it on tape for the court hearing. So Becky likes to go. She really just enjoys Christmas a lot, huh?
I mean, it's her favorite, which is good, but
sure.
The thing is, if you're gonna take Christmas, you gotta take everything with it. That means the weather. But I don't like the weather. I'm like, you can't just sit there and go Christmas and then like not take the weather with it. Like, let's just say if we lived in like Arizona or some southern part of the state, then Christmas would be very strange, especially if they don't get snow. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like get the frost, you don't get the icicles off the tree branches. I mean, that's part of the whole thing.
I get you. So it's all encompassing. So Disciple, what do you got? What date? So the day after Thanksgiving for Chocolate Thunder here, that would be the 28th. Shout out Sadie's birthday, 18 this year.
Nice.
Nice.
So what do you think there?
I'm on board with Jody. I don't like it before Thanksgiving. After, like, let's respect Thanksgiving.
Right.
And
Yeah.
even if you don't believe in like the origins of Thanksgiving, it's just a good time for everybody to stop and calm the fuck down and enjoy a meal with friends. And that's what we do. We usually take off, go out of town, take one of our friends with us, and just spend the weekend with them.
You make memories, like the year that Casey, Jeremy, and Bailey came to my aunt's house for Thanksgiving. My mom cooked the ham, and she left some of the plastic spiral in the ham. There was that. You laugh about stuff like that,
I didn't notice until like my third helping.
Yeah, see?
I think if you talk, you don't really want to dig into the origins of any holiday at this point, because most traditions are built off like hate and killing and archaic thought. And there's so many, they're based on religion, and religion can be viewed a bunch of different ways. So if you boil it down to, okay, yes, Thanksgiving is a time to give thanks for what you have, right? Christmas is a time to be with family and to appreciate that. Easter is a time to eat some candy. Like, that's, if you boil it down to those kind of basics and you leave the religion out of it, the holidays are a lot better. If you want to get religious,
In defense of Christmas, I've been digging into sort of like the sort of Nordic Christmases, and I'm really into the Krampus.
If you don't know about Krampus, that's a fun one, because I researched that when they used to have that show that was filmed in Portland. I can't remember, where the guy fought like monsters and demons and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Grim. Yeah, it
was Grim.
Grim.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
we actually went to some of the sites. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they actually filmed at Calvin's house on Knott Street, an episode. So Grimm had an episode in the first season or two when it was still kind of new and good. They had a Krampus episode, and I was like, who the hell is Krampus? So I did a deep dive. That's some interesting stuff. And that's like, all right, yeah, you better behave, or Krampus can come get you.
Krampus can come whip your ass. Like,
Krampus is the Ray Lewis of Christmas.
You fuck around and Krampus is whipping your ass.
That's right. And to round out the topic, I'm on board with you guys. I think October, you got to give the month to Halloween. You put up your Halloween decorations. November 1st, you put up your leaves and, your kind of fall decorations. You celebrate the colors, especially in Oregon. We've got a lot of color going on here, and good reds and oranges. And then, after Thanksgiving, let's transition to Christmas and give that a month. And then, and then Christmas is there. So I'm with you. Although I can listen to Last Christmas by Wham any time of the year. I don't know why.
True.
All right. Swinging it back to you, Jody. I don't know how many of you have wrapped a present like this, but how many pieces of tape is enough to wrap a present? What do you think is enough?
Well, I'd probably say that's about the right amount for that size.
So let's say like a shoebox or something. Let's make it equal for everybody.
Yes.
Okay, shoebox. I would say 3, 4, 5, about 11.
Math. 11.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like a whole roll of tape.
Yeah. You know what? We're going to do a fucking aggregate wrapping Christmas presents, because I got to see this. So 11. So you're like, every fold, you're putting a piece of tape.
Well, because okay, so I don't know about you guys if you noticed, but over the years, it seemed like wrapping paper got weak, got real thin.
Got to go to Costco.
Oh, is that what it is? Like,
Costco wrapping paper is the shit. It is so good.
It got so fucking thin. You sneeze, the motherfucker like peel. It's like going whatever. And then
if you go to Target and get wrapping paper, it sucks.
You got
got double-sided, thick ass. When you fold it, it doesn't get like that white crease, that nasty white crease.
That changes
the color pops off.
Yeah, exactly.
The color flakes off.
You got to get to Costco. Okay, so Jody's going with 11. He's being liberal with the tape. What about you?
I could do it with 3 pieces.
Ooh.
3 is kind of like, if you're a good rapper, you can wrap over the top with 1 piece, and then the 2 sides you fold. You do your little origami thing, and you fold it and you tape it, and that's 3 pieces is kind of the standard. I'm between
honestly,
3 and 5.
Yeah, 5 is probably a good solid. It's going to hold up.
Yeah, it's because sometimes those boxes get goofy, but no, we're sitting down and I'll have Becky bring you everything, and we're gonna watch you wrap a present, Jody, because I got to see that shit with 11. That's amazing. All right, God bless you putting up with me. All right, back to you. And we're kind of back to the songs and everything. What's your favorite Christmas song? If you had to pick one, what's your favorite?
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Okay, so you like that traditional, like old school stuff. I like it.
It just
I'm here
for me, it just feels like it reminds me of growing up and freaking you're on winter break from school and you hear that song, throughout the day, and it's like, all right, what time is Charlie Brown Christmas come on? What time is the Grinch coming on? And you just get excited for that kind of stuff. And then you go to the kitchen and, in the refrigerator, you got those rings you made in school. You take one ring off before you go to bed and, that kind of stuff.
Oh, the Advent rings.
Yeah. Those are, when I think about that song, I just think about all the good times, good memories growing up.
Oh, that's good. Taking us a little back nostalgia. What about you, Disciple?
Well, outside of Merry Motherfucker by Eazy-E, I'm a little... I think, more traditionalist, any Bing Crosby, old stuff. Wham's okay. You can sprinkle that in there. Mariah Carey, it's fine.
Fuck you, man. Wham is the greatest.
But I like the older ones, and I don't remember the name of the guy who did all the voiceovers for the old stop motion animations. Shit, I can't remember his name, but he had good stuff. Yeah, more traditional.
Yeah, I go Wham all the way, and and then after Aria was born and she started listening to all Justin Bieber. I didn't know, but Justin Bieber apparently has a Christmas album, and I've heard all those songs. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, here's a question for you guys: is Players Ball a Christmas song?
Players Ball?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think of it as one. You could probably make justification.
I keep thinking Players Holiday. Sorry,
Outcast.
Yeah, I would say no offhand, but I wouldn't be mad at somebody who said yes.
I could take a listen to it. If you squint, it turns into a Christmas song.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was like, huh. That's okay.
I can tell you my second favorite song, though.
Yeah.
My second favorite Christmas song?
What's that?
Oh, no.
Paul McCartney.
Christmas time. A wonderful Christmas time.
That's also a classic of mine, too. So those two songs for me, that I can listen to those two songs all day and be the whole entire Christmas season be fine.
Yeah. That's not bad. All right. We've got one more, and then we're going to get you boys out of here for the night. And this is, again, after the Thanksgiving answers. You guys are going to like this one. And I'll let you name two, because, I don't want you to limit yourself to one. Your favorite Christmas treat. So Christmas comes around, everybody's baking. They got good stuff. There's stuff that really only comes around Christmas. I don't know why. But what's Chocolate Thunder? What do you got? Your top two famous Christmas treats, and I know you got a sweet tooth, so these will be good answers.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing, though. Like, they always in our family, they always change. Like, for some reason, like, I love my sister-in-law's deviled eggs. So it's not sweet; it's more.
Oh, okay.
Like
savory.
Deviled eggs.
It's a treat, though. If it's a treat for you.
Yeah.
So
I would say.
It doesn't have to be now. If you go back, we've talked nostalgia here. What was your favorite treats as a kid? Like, what did you really like? Because back in the 80s, that's what they did, is like Christmas came around and your mom and your aunt or whoever was cooking, right?
Mm-hmm. It would be those frosted cookies, gingerbread cookies with the frosting all over it that you did yourself, those kind of things. But you kind of grow out of that because, when your aunts and moms and grandmas are not around anymore. That kind of stuff kind of went with them. So it's kind of like it's different. So now you got to create your own traditions, So.
Mm-hmm. So deviled eggs. Any other shout outs for Christmas that you like?
It just basically anything. Now it's like Crown Royal, but
deviled eggs and Crown Royal while you're using 2 fucking rolls of tape on a present. Christmas at your house is amazing.
Yeah, it explains the 11 pieces now.
Yeah, the 11 pieces is 100%. Yeah, bravo, sir. That was an excellent way to connect ports A and B. So yeah, that's good. Crown Royal deviled eggs. Just wait till they make a deviled egg flavored Crown Royal.
Oh yeah, or almond roca. Boom.
Okay, almond roca. That's classic, old school. That's like I think of Central Catholic fundraiser almond roca. Like that was big in our family.
Somebody offers me almond roca in July. I'm like, no, don't. I need to abstain until the proper time.
So I agree.
What do you have, BJ, there for your 2? Give me 2 Christmas treats that you like.
Well, the season has already begun. It's Chex Mix season at our house.
Yes. I was really jealous the other day when you said you were enjoying some homemade Chex Mix. I expect some in the mail. Diana gabbled on.
We can provide you with some like about every 2 weeks. Another batch comes out. And then after Christmas, it stops. That's one of them. And my other is pretty much anything Mom makes. There's she makes those like sugar cookies with a big Hershey Kiss shoved in it. I really like those.
Ooh, yeah.
The peanut clusters are good. The whatever those Blondie bars, the chewy with coconut. She kind of goes off, and so I always look forward to that every year.
Yeah, Mom likes to make a tray of stuff, and they're all pretty good. But for me, number 1 would be peanut clusters. If I had to die and be buried with one thing, it would be peanut clusters. And she's been pushing me to learn how to make them on my own, but I won't. When she's not with us anymore, I'll learn, or I'll make Casey do it. And then my second thing would be more peanut clusters. There
you go. Consistency.
Mom has to make 2 batches of peanut clusters because she made a batch for me a few years ago, and Bailey ate them all because she loves them just as much as I do. And so she started making Bailey her own batch. So nice. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just a peanut and chocolate is always just been good for me.
It's
my honorable mention would be. My honorable mention would be the popcorn with the butter, the cheese, and the caramel corn.
Oh, the try popcorn, of course. Yeah, the popcorn tins.
That's always a classic. Well, you go to Target or something like that, or wherever, Walmart, and you got the big tall tin, and you open it's divided in 3 sections.
Because sometimes you want a little white cheese corn, and sometimes you want a little caramel corn.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's always a classic.
I mean, yeah, my honorable mention, the only other thing that I really like at Christmas, but I like it any time of year, is the Dome Patrol. Well, let's just hurry back to the Dome Patrol.
The Dome Patrol.
Yeah. It's a treat. So that being said,
it only happens once a year.
Oh, boy, I'd be divorced. All right. So all right, well, we've done our Mount Rushmores of NFL defenses. And again, if you're one of the unfortunate few that has watched this whole thing, I do want you to get ready. We're going to be doing NFL. We're going to be doing NBA. We're going to have different folks on in and out all the time. So watch Chocolate Thunder on Arm Talk. And it was Can-Am. Say it again.
Can-Am Connection.
Can-Am Connection.
But that's not on my channel. That's on my buddy Ryan Espy's channel. So
okay, but we can always Google it if we want to see you, right?
Yeah.
And then look up YouTube, Disciple Games. You can see me and the bearded one there. Play some Rocket League, do some other things. Sometimes he's playing random. BJ will play random games that are just you've never heard of before, and they're the most. And you start watching it, and before you know it, you've watched it for 25 minutes, and it's some of the most mesmerizing, weird games that I've ever seen.
Yeah, and to keep
they're
those
interesting.
games fueled, go ahead and buy me a cup of coffee. Use the Venmo code up in the corner there.
Yeah, see, there's a Venmo code in the corner for Disciple. If you don't use it, then Krampus will come get you.
And I hope Jody will have one as well next time we see him.
Hey, there you go. I
That's
need
right.
one.
Yeah, yeah. Have Becky help you out with that one. I think we'll put in next time. We'll put in an LLD logo. I think we'll go sponsored and powered by LLD from this point. So, all right. Well, it's been great seeing you guys and talking about that. Yep, there you go. Brand recognition. I love it. All right. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. And if we don't see you viewers, enjoy your holidays. See you next time on The Aggregate. We're out.
Later.